Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're joined by Lance Anderson, head coach, Utah Tech. Utah Tech with a golf tournament at Thanksgiving Point. 2 o'clock this afternoon, shotgun start. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. It's great to be with you guys.
Well, thanks for coming on the air. We have so many questions to ask you about college football. You've got interesting viewpoints because you were at Stanford for a long time, so you're one of the haves. And now you're at Utah Tech, and it's a totally different world in the Big Sky. And I'm curious, as you watch these changes, and some of the people you may actually know or have some contact with, do you see anybody with a long-term view of what's best for college football, or do you see a lot of people doing what's best for their employer, whether it's a league or a school?
I think right now a lot of people are just trying to do what is best, for them and trying to find a way to survive, because it's really, things have really changed just with NIL, with the transfer portal, with just some of the conference realignments, things like that. College football has definitely changed. I mean, the game on the field is still, it's the best. There's just nothing better than college football. But it's the stuff outside that is definitely very different, and you have to find a way to navigate that, in order to be successful. And I think it's a little bit different for everybody.
Yeah, with that in mind, fundraising is such a big deal. How do you go about doing it at your level to be able to get the players that you want?
It certainly has been a challenge at Utah Tech. I think there's a ton of potential here, but we just got to roll up our sleeves and dig in, do a little fundraising. That's what we're doing with the golf tournament today. But it really does come down to money, and it's been very interesting. I think almost everything is filtered down to the FCS level in terms of players with agents, players looking for money, the transfer portal, and I've never talked to so many agents as I did during the month of January when that transfer portal opened. Mm-hmm. And that's always the first question is, how much money do you guys have? How much NIL do you have? And it's if you don't have money, it's definitely hard to compete.
And I would get a junior or senior looking to go to the Big Sky and looking at Utah Tech would want to get the money. This is the best payday they could be looking at. But I was curious at that level when you're dealing with freshmen and sophomores. I'm sure they want the money, but how much are they interested in how much you can help them improve as a player? Because they still have a couple of years of eligibility, and we see plenty of Big Sky players go on. Scadaboo's probably the best example, but there's plenty going to the Mountain West, the Pac-12, the Big 12, the Big 10, whatever. And that seems to be important, but I don't know how much people are looking at it when they're freshmen and sophomores.
Yeah, I think, if they can get something, that they want to get that. And if, things are even, then that's maybe the deciding factor. But you're exactly right. And that's the thing that we're really trying to push is the opportunity to play, the opportunity to improve, the opportunity to get better. Just knowing that, hey, if you have a guy that might play well for you for a year or two, they might move on and go to an FBS school or a Power 4 school. And I think today's day and age, you just have to embrace that and understand that's what's going to happen. And so that's a big selling point for us in recruiting is, yes, come here and help turn this program around, have an immediate impact, really put some stuff on film, and then that may allow you to get the kind of NIL deal that you're looking for and the opportunity to play at the kind of school that you would like. So that's just the day and age now, and we have to embrace that.
Yeah, we've talked to other coach Eric Kerr at Weber, who's starting this year. He was talking about that. Todd Phillips, basketball coach at UVU, has gone through this now several years where kids have come to his program and then they've gone on to the Power 4, Power 5 in basketball, and that's the way of the world, and that's the recruiting pitch. How much from the perspective of the kid does he buy that? Because Todd's telling us, hey, even if you're a 4-star, if you're a freshman, you might be buried. Well, you come here, you're not going to be buried.
I think each kid's a little bit different, and I think they all do their research at different levels, and I think some are more realistic than others. But I think some kids are very realistic about it, and they look at like who else is on the team and where their role might be, and I think it does factor in if they feel like they could have a bigger role and bigger impact somewhere else, even though maybe the money's not as good, but. With good guidance and stuff, looking at that the long-term picture, that some of them might, be willing to, I might not make as much money right now, but this is a great opportunity for me to, show my skills, come here, help this team compete for a championship, and then in the future, maybe I can capitalize on that.
Your sports information director, Steve Johnson, I was talking with him a year ago, and he started listing all the schools your players had gone to. It was pretty impressive. San Jose State came in and took a guy. I think Wyoming or CSU, maybe both of them, but at least one of them came in and took a guy. How long is that list now? If someone asks that, can you just start reciting all the schools that you've sent players to?
It is, and it's an impressive list. I mean, in addition to some of the schools you mentioned, we're talking like Washington, UCLA, Utah State. I mean, it's a number of schools, Wake Forest. And that's why you got to be excited for the kid, because you look at some of the money they're getting in terms of NIL, and it's like, wow, that's impressive. Like our tight end last year, who's our leading receiver, is at Oregon State now and got a really good NIL deal. And just the opportunity to compete at a level like that, you can't blame them for being excited about it. It's just tough for us. You develop them, you help them get to that point. You feel like they're really a focal point of what you're trying to build. And then they move on, but that's the nature of the game. And when that happens, we got to go out and replace them.
September 5th, you come to Provo to play BYU. How much does that help your bank account?
I think that will definitely help. Little things like that definitely help. So, but maybe not as much as we need, but it will help.
But you just play one money game, right?
We do. Yep.
Has anyone tried to talk you into two?
I've had those discussions with our athletic director. He's brought that up, and there might be, some years coming up where we might do something like that. But I think he's been pretty good about that too, understanding that, one is probably enough each year. The Big Sky is tough. A lot of good teams, top to bottom. But we'll see as we go year by year.
The junior college player, it doesn't seem like that is as prominent anymore. And I know you're going to recruit Utah, you're going to recruit Nevada, you're going to recruit California, you're going to recruit Arizona. I have an Arizona background, and junior college in the Phoenix area, football is all gone now. They don't even do it anymore. And that's terrible. It stinks for those kids that did not have that opportunity. How does that affect you, just a junior college player at your level? Because it seems like it's not as big of a deal as it used to be.
You're right. As we go out, because we've still tried to target the junior colleges, just trying to find ways where maybe we can find maybe some talent that's being overlooked a little bit. Plus, you look at the junior college kids, and I think that's a good way to replace some of these transfers that we've been talking about, where these kids have some experience. They've played in games at the college level. They should be able to jump in and play sooner. And what we found going around a lot of junior college coaches have told us the same thing, that they're not getting the same kind of traffic or interest that they did, several years ago. So I think that could be a good way for us to maybe find some guys. Now there is, there's always the academic piece of that and the eligibility piece, and we found that's been a challenge at times. But I think we can find some good junior college kids out there. We've got some on the roster. We've got a few coming in again this year that I think will really help us.
Lance Anderson joining us. He is the head football coach at Utah Tech. It's a change for you. You're going into the Big Sky this year, and you're really embracing it, because in addition to BYU, it looks like you filled out your schedule with the teams that you weren't meeting in Big Sky games. Like a lot of leagues, it's gotten very big, and they don't play a complete round robin. So you just dove in and used Big Sky schools to finish the rest of your schedule.
That's exactly right. So in addition to playing BYU, the rest of our schedule is all Big Sky teams. It's just our game against Montana, our game against Northern Arizona. Those don't count as Big Sky games. But yeah, the schedule is full of Big Sky teams. And I think this is something that a lot of schools are going to do going forward, just where there's not a lot of other FCS schools out west. And I know our athletic director has mentioned to me that he's been in communication with a lot of other athletic directors in the league that, hey, if there's a year we don't play a Big Sky game, how about playing a non-conference game? So I think we're going to see a little bit more of this in our league.
Since you've been in coaching for a long time, you build relationships wherever that may be, and it can literally scatter all over the country in terms of you guys knowing folks and so forth, particularly you. Have you been able to tap into that to help get players?
I think so. During a lot of my coaching career, I've recruited in the state of Utah, and so I know a lot of high school coaches in the state. So I think that's been good. And I mean, we want to do a great job of recruiting in the state of Utah. I think high school football is really good in the state. I think the coaching is really good in the state. I know there's a lot of competition, with BYU, Utah State, and then you add Weber State and Southern Utah to that along with us. There's a lot of competition for kids in the state, but we want to get Utah kids, and I think those connections that I've got or other our staff members, other connections they have are definitely helpful in that recruiting process.
Does that give you a little window into the world of NIL? Because I know there's a lot of smoke and mirrors as far as who has what, but have you been able to figure out what the range is as far as budgets in the Big Sky?
None of it is exact, but just whether it's talking to high school coaches, other college coaches, like I mentioned, all the conversations with agents now, you start to get a feel of kind of, who has what and what other schools are offering. So we kind of have an idea of what we need to be shooting for. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but yeah, you kind of have an idea. And there certainly are. There's the haves and the have-nots. There's some schools in the Big Sky that are paying quite a bit of money, and there are, I think, other schools that are similar to us that just don't have a lot right now. But we know that's something that we need to build towards, because I just don't think that this is going away. I think NIL might be more regulated going forward at some point, but I don't think it's going away. So it's something we have to be prepared for.
Every year we'd go down and cover Pac-12 media days, and I always enjoyed talking to the coaches. Now we'll do Big 12, obviously, here coming up. And one of the guys that I loved to talk to every single year was David Shaw, and it got to the point where we would laugh about him coming in and taking our players, and you know that full well because you were recruiting there, and he feasted on Utah kids because he once said on the air, you tell those people in Utah we're coming and we're coming often, and he laughed about it. And then when each year he'd approach us, and I'd say, oh no, here comes the thief, and he'd laugh and we'd carry on. So I got to develop a little relationship with him. And he was always fun to talk to, very insightful on and off the air. And he stepped aside at Stanford at a relatively young age. And I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten back into the head coaching business. What do you think about that? Because obviously you knew him very well.
Oh, he's a great coach. I mean, what a tremendous run, we had during that time at Stanford. And Coach Shaw just did a tremendous job there. And in addition to being a very good football coach, he's a very good person. I have learned so much from him, and learned so much of, how you go about things, how you treat people, just how important it is just to do the right thing, no matter how hard that might be. And I think there will be another opportunity. He's with the Detroit Lions right now, and I think he enjoys, coaching in the NFL. But, I think down the road there will definitely be another head coaching opportunity for David Shaw, and I think he will do very well when he has that opportunity.
When we had Bronco on, we were talking about how much time he spends fundraising, and he just said nonstop. And I'm curious if you found it to be the same thing, and if that's the kind of thing that would keep a David Shaw from returning, is that the job's changed a lot since he had his really good run at Stanford.
Yeah, I think for David, just, some of our conversations, and I think that's why he decided to step away when he did, it was just with all the transfer portal, the NIL, some of the fundraising, and just, the arms race, things like that, where, one of the things that we really liked during that time at Stanford, that decade when we really had that thing rolling and we were one of the top programs in college football, was the continuity. You knew that you were going to get some great kids in there. You knew that you were going to have them for a while. You knew you were going to have a chance to develop those guys. And I think that's kind of maybe what drove him out, is just all those changes with the fundraising, with NIL, with the transfer portal, and always just trying to stay one step ahead instead of just being able to concentrate on football and developing young men and trying to get better. So it is certainly a challenge, and it's as a head coach, you just don't get to spend as much time on just the football part as you would like. You are torn in a lot of different directions.
Well, I know you got a golf tournament to go to, and you have money to raise before you go back to St. George and having probably another golf tournament and more money to raise, because it's just nonstop these days. Lance, we appreciate
it. It is.
Yeah, right. We appreciate a few minutes. Thanks for hopping on the air, and good luck the rest of the day.
Oh, thank you so much. Sure appreciate it, and I look forward to staying in touch with you guys.
All right, there's Lance Anderson, Utah Tech, making the move to the Big Sky this year with Southern Utah. Weber State's already there, obviously. 11 Big Sky opponents, including both Montana schools and Weber State and SUU.
That's tough. It
is tough. There is a really good argument that the Big Sky is the toughest league in the FCS. And they're probably people in the, I think it's a different name for football and basketball. I think it's the Summit League. But whatever league is with North Dakota State, South Dakota, and South Dakota State, except they just lost one of those moving up, the best one, North Dakota State. So that league taking a hit, losing that team. It's a tough schedule either way. Yeah. Whether it's the best or the second best league doesn't really matter.
I think they've gone 1-11 and 2-10.
They are coming off 2-10. Yeah. But saving hard. Some money, they don't have to travel instead of flying off to.
I understand that, but the level of competition
is high. It's high. There's no way around it.
You're getting these programs that are entrenched at these levels.
Yes. And Eastern Washington's had an awesome run. Montana State have been really good. UC Davis has been really good. You go on down the line,
Right.
Weber State had a run. They've been down a little bit. We'll see if Kerr gets them back. There's no gimmies.
Whoa.
We'll see when Kerr gets him back.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Sitting over there in all your Corner Canyon gear. I forgot who I was talking to for a minute.
Yeah. I expect the same level of success at Corner as I do at Weber.
Does he have the NIL? You were talking about it with Utah
I'm doing all
this week.
I can.
And you had that $25 that used to go to SU after the Rose Bowl, straight to Eric Kerr and Weber State. All 25, not 20. Not 20.
Every little bit helps.
I was going to get an Allen Iverson practice thing there if I wasn't careful.
But it's hard to compete, particularly in the state, when we've got so many schools playing football in this state. You look at Arizona, which is double the population.
Yep.
And they just don't have that. And now they lost JC's, which is, I think it's a blow. And obviously Rick's is no longer Rick's. They call it BYU Idaho, and they've stopped, and that was a very good program. Dixie, when it was a junior college, was a power.
I think your line about JC football is just, that line of thinking is really interesting. There's still got to be some talent there. It is getting overlooked. Kyle Whittingham addressed us a couple of years ago at a press conference. We were up there on a Monday, and he got asked about it. He says there's no question that junior college recruiting is taking a hit, and people are going to the transfer portal to get the junior that they used to get out of a JC program, or the sophomore they used to get out of a JC program. They've totally pivoted. Well, there's still kids playing JC who are late bloomers or who weren't on good teams, who've been overlooked for one reason or another.
Academic improvement.
Maybe they need academic improvement. They're one reason or another.
Yeah.
And they can still play and they can still help your team. And if it doesn't make sense in the Big 12 anymore, well, that ought to be a bonus for the Pac-12 or Mountain West. If it doesn't make sense in the Pac-12 or Mountain West, then it ought to be a bonus for the Big Sky.
Right, but I just named 7-8 schools that ain't playing anymore.
That's true, but there's 70 of them playing in California. They're still playing at Snow. Now, we've also lost JCs here. Utah Tech used to be Dixie JC, so that's one JC program that goes away.
Right.
Rick's is another one. It's now BYU Idaho. It went away. We've lost teams here, too. But nonetheless, there's still dozens and dozens playing in California. And they're still playing JC football in Kansas and Texas. And a lot of schools are going away from it.
Yeah, as we see in high school kids too, because of the transfer portal. And, we saw like Rob Wright the other day was addressing why he came back. Mm-hmm. See what your options are, but ultimately he comes back. I just don't know at a place like Utah Tech if you're going to be able to get those kids, okay, I've surveyed the landscape, I'm coming back.
It seems unlikely.
Right.
There's too much money at higher levels, so as Lance just pointed out, losing your star tight end, if a player is really good, there's too many schools above you in the pecking order with more money, including other Big Sky schools, but certainly the Mountain West, the Pac-12, the Big 12 on down the line. And Washington's in the Big 10, and they're taking a kid. But San Jose State's going to have more money than you. So they lost a kid to the Spartans a couple of years ago.
It becomes hard for them to compete, and we'll see what. Now, we've got 3 schools in the state.
Right.
Who else has 3 schools in the state?
The thing is, it's not just it's not just like all the high school kids. Oh, they don't. No, nobody in the West does.
Right.
I mean, seriously, we're getting a California number of schools. California has more. Well, okay, California's got, 15 times more people.
Yeah.
So, of course, they have more.
Right.
But Oregon only has 3. Oregon State.
I'm talking just Big
Portland.
Sky.
Yeah, they have 1 Big Sky and 2.
Right, but I didn't add in the others.
But we have 3.
In state.
Yeah, we have 3, and
Right.
Oregon has 2, and Washington has 2.
What do you mean they have?
At the FBS level.
Oh, okay.
We have BYU, Utah, and Utah State. Whereas they have Oregon State, Washington State. Then when you drop down to the Big Sky level, they each have 1. And what do we have here? We got 3.
Right.
It's like this, and that also stretches the NIL dollars. In St. George, if there were fewer teams playing in the state, well, maybe they could go up to Cedar City and raise a lot of money.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
Guess what? SU's already knocked on every door in Cedar City.
Right.
So you're kind of limited.
Right. They've got 2 basically 45 miles apart.
Right. And Oregon's got 1 in the whole state. And
Right.
Washington has 1 in the whole state. And Arizona has 1 in the whole state. And Colorado has 1 in
Yeah.
the whole state. Now,
Yeah.
Colorado does have a bunch of D2s. So there's that.
There's that. It just is. It's very
Right.
difficult, and I'm not sure I see a way out.
No, I get your point. Unless there's just 1 or 2 people with deep pockets who want to make it happen. Because that seems to be how a lot of schools do it. It's how Texas Tech is doing it. It's how Oklahoma State did it.
Right,
it's how
but
Oklahoma
you're
did
gonna
it.
get a huge
And it's a
bang
lower
for
level.
your buck
But
there.
what's going to happen is you're going to look up at Montana that's got 2 Big Sky schools, not 3, and has no FBS schools. And ranchers and Hollywood types are going up there with money. There's wealth in Montana. I mean, there's a lot of people grinding,
Nick
too.
Faldo lives there.
Nick Faldo is there. If Montana or Montana State golf suddenly gets really good, we'll know why. Nick, what have you done? With the 3-month golf season they have up there.
I would love to see them all succeed, but it just doesn't seem realistic.
It looks like really heavy lifting.
Yeah.
It looks like really heavy lifting.
Right.
You got to try to find an angle and play an angle that nobody else is playing. And when you get it, and you find someone like Jay Hill, he's going to get taken away. You're going to lose your coaches who figure it out too.
Yeah, but he was there for a good while.
He did. It was a good run. No doubt about it. Was it 7 years all in when he was
something
there?
like that. But
Yeah.
it worked. Mm-hmm. I just wonder if Utah Tech can find even a way to get to 500.
It's heavy lifting. There is no way around it. Heavy lifting. All right. Thanks to Lance for coming on. DJ and PK, when we come back, everything you missed in this show next. Stay with us.
3, 2, 1. This is Scotty G and Coach Tim LeComb.
Joining us now, he is the athletic director of Brigham Young University, Brian Santiago. A.J. Debonsa comes in, and what a big get it was for BYU. But did that exceed your expectations, not just on the court, but how he embraced the community and the community embraced him?
AJ's remarkable from day one, all in for BYU. The one thing about this draft is I hope in the worst way he goes number 1, because I know that's his dream. I know that he's put in in so much to put himself in a position to be the number 1 pick in the draft. One thing that I do have a lot of confidence in Danny Ainge. He's the best in the business, so is Austin. They got it. They'll figure it out, and they'll do what's right for that franchise. It's going to be super interesting to see how it works out. I'm one that's pulling hard for him to be the number 1 pick, even though I'd love if he ended up in Utah.
Catch Scotty G and Coach weekdays from 10 to 2. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3CGM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms or readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Slacker Ready Headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. Beginning the break was just like, I already can't remember who I drafted for the U.S. Open with Bob. You know the thing about the U.S. Open I don't get?
What
is the fascination with making it so that nobody can break par?
Because it's a tradition.
Why?
Because that gives you separation.
I don't like watching that.
But it's all equal.
I get that.
And it's not a steady diet.
No, it's this tournament. Nobody else does this.
It's like the Masters. We know every year it's the Masters. It's the same course. Mm-hmm. So that gives it the separation. So that's what makes it unique. So I don't have any problem with it.
The risk reward of a guy standing over the ball in the fairway, and I don't have the first clue if he's going to make eagle or bogey. I love that. Now, that only happens on the par fives on the back nine. But even so, on the other holes, I don't know if they're going to make birdie or bogey. I love that. Two-shot swings all over the place. Drama. It's the best.
They need to have this. This is more relatable. The grinding nature of it, where everything's not going so smooth.
Yeah, I don't want that. I also don't like watching the tournaments where it's 20 under and he's 20 under. He's really got to get it going though and make some birdie putts here because somebody's going to win at 23. I don't want to see that.
Well, you do.
I like the birdie bogey balance. Have a winner at 8 under, 10 under, whatever. That's to me that's entertainment.
You get that.
Win. Not every week. Some weeks I get 20 under.
But you're not sitting there glued to every tournament.
No, I'm not.
There's too many of them.
There are. Well, that's just sports
you follow
these days.
it, but you don't necessarily sit in front of the television.
That's exactly
Whereas
right.
I'm going to be out of town, and I'm making sure we leave early to come back. So I'm here minimum for the back nine on Sunday.
The final round back nine you want to be glued to. That's the most
for
drama.
a major.
For a major.
Not for the John Deere, maybe.
No, for this weekend. You were talking this weekend. Yeah, not for the John Deere. Absolutely not. Follow it, look at your phone. Oh, somebody's got a 3-shot lead. I don't even know if I'm turning that on. There's other stuff on.
But at the same time, if somebody's shooting 60, great. That's fun too. Golf can give you that variance. And
I like the variance.
So many people play golf and have a working knowledge of how difficult it must be, and it's to the point where you marvel. I went down and covered the Espen and followed the ladies, and it's awesome to watch them do their thing. And I had told you a few weeks ago, I played with a gal named Emma who played at Corner Canyon and then went over and played at a college in Denver. And watching her bomb it 30 yards longer than me, I'm older and not a long hitter, never was as a young. I can't say age has gotten to my game because it really hasn't. It's not like I was hitting it 280 as a kid. But watching her do her thing was majestic. I was literally studying her driver. Once I figured out, we randomly get paired up, right? Well, by the second hole, all right, this gal's a player. You already know it. And then the rest of the time, I was studying her technique on her driver and her follow-through. It was an absolute thing of beauty. And she told me, she said, she's out now, works as a nurse, and she said, yeah, my father has been after me to join a women's league so I can keep playing competitive. I said, women's league? Forget that. You want to be in a men's league. And I meant it.
Yeah.
So that's levels of golf, and we've been there and be able to watch. I don't mind a few struggles because you see the struggles no matter where it is, what it is. You've seen guys, women get on the green, and then it's not working for them. The pressure is just enormous. I had an eagle putt the other day. I mean, I don't have many eagle putts, but it's a short par 5. I hit 2 good shots. And it was only like a 3-footer. I thought I was going to vomit.
Well, did you?
No.
Okay.
And I made it.
All right.
And, it's a funny thing. And
they didn't win the skin because some other fool made his eagle putt.
Right, but we were playing a 2-man, so it was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to win the thing, and also I'm trying to help my friend because we're together. So we're like a team right now, right? Mm-hmm. And so no one wants to let your teammates down. It doesn't work that way. You want to be the guy to help your team, right? And I can remember conversations. I got to tell him next time I talk to him, I might text him, that I totally channeled my Mike Weir. Because I've had conversations with Mike on and off the air. You're in the playoff in Augusta. Augusta, you're in a playoff, man. How do you handle that?
What'd he say?
He says you have to try. It's impossible to block out everything, but you have to just go to yourself, okay, I've done this 1,000 times. I've done this 500 times. I've done this, blah, blah,
All you
blah,
can
blah.
do is hit the tee shot.
Yeah.
All you can do is
and so
knock
you
the ball in the
try to
fairway.
literally stay in the moment and just eliminate everything else. This is something that he couldn't put a number on the amount of practice putts and tournament putts and college and growing up as a kid that he's taken to be in this moment. But you can't say, wow, I've been doing this for 20 years to get to this moment, and I'm here. It's just overwhelming. He said, take a deep breath and tell yourself, this is what I've done. I've done this 1,000,000 times. I can do this. And I literally thought that to myself.
Yeah.
Nobody on the planet gives a crap. Maybe my partner does. But other than that, for me, this is the biggest thing I got going right now. And so I did that. Okay, I can do this. Come on, this is no big deal. And I just, into my mind, and it went in. Now it was a 3-footer. Come on. The percentages have got to be in the high 90s at that point, right? And so with that in mind, I literally channeled my inner Mike.
I do think what you said early on and all of that about you keep an eye on it, you can't watch all of it. That's where sports is these days. There's so much going on. It's unreal. Everything's gotten bigger. Even the events that have been around forever are bigger, right? The NCAA basketball tournament, there's more games than ever. The NCAA or the World Cup, there's more games than ever. You got the question up, and we'll get to the reaction here in the next one. Like, what are you into this week? And I'm like, well, I'm going to cherry pick. Like, am I going to watch the World Cup? Well, I'm absolutely going to watch the U.S. play Friday afternoon, for sure. But there's like 4 games a day. I'm not going to sit there and watch all of 4 straight games. Maybe some YouTube highlights, some clips here and there, some social media. That's going to have to be good enough. Normally going to lock it down on, what did the USA Network have, like 11 straight hours? It's awesome they put it out there. 0% chance I'm going to watch.
US Open?
Yeah, 0% chance.
It's on right now.
Right, 0% chance I'm going to sit there hour after hour all day long. I got stuff to do. I'm going to check it out. I want to see the highlights. And it's just over and over. I mean, you're a baseball fan. There's too many baseball games to consume them all.
Not enough.
It's not true. You pick 1 or 2 a night. You watch maybe you watch Shohei when he's pitching. You watch your Diamondbacks, whatever. They're overlapping. We're all drinking out of the fountain here, out of the fire
but
hose.
at the same time, I know you don't like it because you got the big TV. You can watch stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
And the phone, it's obviously smaller, but the quality is really good.
The quality is unreal how good it's gotten.
Yeah.
The first thing I ever watched streamed was a Nebraska-San Jose State football game. I was curious. The first college football game to be streamed. I got to check this out. It was grainy. It glitched a little bit. We have come so far. And that game had to be 25 years ago.
But still
it might have been 30.
so far to go.
I don't know. It's pretty good. That HD quality is...
I'm getting philosophical here.
Oh.
Yeah, I can remember as
Give me some more poetry.
Youngster, my friend, parents had a big screen, one of the first ones. And
with the projector with the 3 colors?
I can't remember, but I just remember, I remember that we would come over, and they were big ASU fans. Right?
Yeah.
So we were together.
Right.
So I want to go over because you watch And the dad actually had season tickets. Right?
So everybody's into
In
the
fact,
Devils.
I
It's going to be
cherry-picked
fun.
a couple of times.
Nice.
His season tickets.
Sweet.
And they took me. And
Man, between Knicks games and Devil football, you did well.
yeah. And so I think I want to say they were in the Holiday Bowl. But the big screen is like, it was like there was fog. You know, they've set off the fireworks.
Yes.
And the smoke hadn't cleared. It's like, this is, it's a bigger screen, but I can't see as well.
So when my first job straight out of college, and most of us were 22, 23, except for one woman. She was probably 28 or 29, and her husband was a stockbroker, John and Martha Bull. Awesome.
Martha was her name?
Her name was Martha, yeah. His was John, no
That's
H.
cutting edge.
And the two of them.
No H even.
Nope, Joan.
Wow. What
And
the hell?
Every
What
Monday,
the L? Who put the H in L?
Nice try. They'd have us over Monday Night Football. You get off work, go over Monday, and they do your own pizza thing. And
Was she hot?
And don't do that. You
You're
can't answer that
22.
properly. You can't answer that properly. I'm at her house eating her food with her husband, who is awesome, watching football on their big screen projection TV. The thing, you had to stand right in front of it. If you got off at an angle, like if you're on the first baseline, nope, that angle, that 45-degree angle doesn't work. You got to get right in front of it.
Is there other advantages if you got off at an angle?
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds wrong. And I'm not sure why. It's just instinct.
The analytics show?
The analytics show that is going to be trouble over time.
How was the house? Was it nice?
It was nice.
Ocean view?
No, it was in Montecito, and it was in a canyon, and it actually burned in a fire, and they
the
rebuilt.
house burned?
It rebuilt, and it burned again.
Wow, that's bad luck.
And they
was it brush
moved-
fires?
Yeah. And they moved down by the water. I was never in that third house. I don't know what the view was like. But it was between the freeway and the water, and there was a flood, and they couldn't get to their house. And that is when they left Santa Barbara and moved into Mexico. They'd had enough.
I probably would have gone for a little more.
You would have taken one more shot at it? I got to admit, I'm with you. I was like, really? You left for New Mexico?
Nothing wrong with New Mexico.
No, nothing wrong with New Mexico. And their kid was over in Moab or something, like working on a ranch south of Moab somewhere. Yeah. Danny. There you go. There's the Bull family story.
Their last name is Bull?
Bull. Bull. Yeah. She's classic. Her path to journalism, PK, she was super bright. She was waitressing in the radio station at people at a place they would go for lunch. And she would come over and take the order and not write anything down. They're like, you're not going to mess this up. And she's like, pfft. She'd come back with the right order. They got so pretty soon they started swapping seats. And she, without a beat, would give the right person the right thing, not react, not give them the satisfaction of saying anything, and walk away.
I don't know if I believe that.
Well, you should.
In fact, I'm going to call that Bull.
Oh, nice. Anything else you want to tell the people? Shohei had a blister on his finger. He's gotten hit the last two outings. ERA's over 1. He was down around like 0.8 or something like that.
Was like 147.
Yeah, it's 147.
You know, Kessler wants to stay, all things being equal. I think he will. He put out a statement. If you have Instagram, or you don't, you can Google it and see Instagram. You see the statement. I don't have Instagram, but I still saw the statement. And that's a good sign. He wants to be here. And this team is building something here. If you're a Jazz fan, have a quiet level of confidence. Don't be so pessimistic anymore.
Your feedback is coming up next. Stay with us.
The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Feedback. We got one headline breaking, PK. What do you have for us there? You're just sharing this.
Well, the SEC and the Big Ten, they're going to oppose. We continue to believe revisions are needed to secure our support for the bill, meaning my own translation is they have no right to take money away from us.
I believe your translation, and I believe the senators from Alabama, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee are now going to vote no. Indiana, no. Well, we'll see how it works out. Counting votes, counting noses.
Yeah, I get it. Why should they be forced to give up money?
Yeah. Maine and Alaska have no dog in this fight, so, who can flip them?
Do they have a wolf or anything, though?
Maine would have a bear. It's the Maine Bears. I remember that from when they came out and played Weber State in the playoffs. Alaska, I don't know. I don't know what they are.
We have bears here.
Yep.
Everybody has bears. I've seen a bear in Arizona once.
It's the name. It's the nickname of the team. U.S. Open World Cup, something else. What's got your attention this holiday weekend? Bruce says the Vernal Dinosaur Roundup Rodeo.
No, for sure. Yeah, I figured that was obvious.
Josh, Walker Kessler thinking he's a max player currently has me intrigued. I don't know if Walker thinks that. Maybe it's more a case of Walker would find out if anybody who controls budgets for one of the 30 NBA teams thinks that. That'd be more intriguing.
I think what will be interesting is that if he gets a big-time offer more than the Jazz want, what does he do? Because if he really wants to stay here, would he want to sign that and then force the Jazz hand, or we'd go back and say, okay, they're offering me, say, 37 for argument's sake. Can you get it up to 33?
All possibilities, all negotiations.
I'm going to take the money. This is my chance to earn my money, and I have a 10-year window, and I'm going to do it.
And would they do it, or would they see if they could call his bluff and we're not going to do it, and you don't want to sign with them, just come sign this? How would that all play out? All intriguing. Don't know. Who's the team?
Because
what's
their
the offer?
opportunity to get this money is so limited.
Yeah.
That's something that they have to consider. Who was it? Edgerrin James. I think he left the Colts and signed with the Cardinals. Like, what do the Cardinals suck? What's about? But he's a running back, man. He got to take the money.
He is one hit away from being all done.
And so the money was there, and so he took the money. He went to a lousier team, or a lousy team, but financially it was the right move. It's like Sean Bradley, man. He came out because he had to. The money. They're going to have this cap, right, afterwards.
Yep, they're going to have the cap, so get out first, and they're going to give you like $45 million or something like that. 44, 45, whatever it was.
Right.
It's a lot of cash.
Yeah, and you're going to tell them, go back to school, blah, 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 blah. Who are you to say that? No, he made the right move. He had to. That's what it's about. And, yeah, you sacrifice other stuff. It's not like you get everything the same. You didn't have that opportunity to be with the college and all that and the fun, but ultimately the money is most likely always going to win out. Not always, but most likely always. And Yak's got some news on Parker Kingston.
Yeah, so they just had another continuance hearing down there in St. George. The prosecution, the DA's office, had requested yet another continuance. They wanted to delay the trial by another 2 months. It had been set for July 6th. They wanted to push it to September. The judge went through a lengthy brief. I listened to almost the entirety of it while we were during the show. And he denied the motion, so there was no continuance. And then he further dismissed the case without prejudice. Now, what that means is it can be refiled at a later date. But currently, there is no trial date set for Parker Kingston.
There is your update. And with that, we're out of time. Coming up next, Scotty G and the coach, Tim Lacombe. Right after the break, right here on The Zone.
We all have routines. I'm Jabron, and with diabetes, mine was finger sticks. Sometimes I skip them because they hurt. The Freestyle Libre 3C GM changed that. It gives me glucose insights without finger sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
Finger sticks are required if your glucose alarms and readings do not match symptoms, or when you see check blood glucose symbol for the first 12 hours. The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
That sound could mean a lot of things. And when something's going wrong at home, the hardest part can be figuring out what the problem actually is. At Thumbtack, you can upload a voice message or a photo, and our AI-powered search will help diagnose your project. Plus, the pros we know have over 14 million 5-star reviews, so you can hire with confidence. Thumbtack, we know homes. Hire the right pro today.